When onboarding a new property, I always get asked the same exact question, and that is, how much money is my property going to make? I'm Mercedes with MBX Homes. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're going to discuss money. The number one question I always get asked is, how do you know the property is going to produce? And I wish there was an easy way to explain it, but there's not, and that's why I made this YouTube video. When we get a new lead in our co-hosting business, the first thing we obviously ask for is the address. As soon as we get the address, I am doing all the legwork, going on the MLS, going on Zillow, Google mapping it, seeing the neighborhood, seeing what the comps are in the area, not really digging too deep into it. Maybe I have some prior knowledge about the area. Big picture, high level, that's step number one. Step number two is I automatically just think, are we gonna do short-term, mid-term, or hybrid? Three very different strategies when a client comes to me. It's important to understand which strategy you're going to do. Obviously for short-term, a lot of factors come into play. The area, are you in a tourist destination? Are there regulations, city regulations, town regulations? Midterm strategy, who's gonna be our target demographic? Are there hospitals nearby? Are there industries nearby? Is it a B, A minus, suburban area where midterm can really thrive? There are so many different factors when we talk about STR versus MTR, which I could do a whole nother video on. Or I see, wow, this could really be a hybrid of the two where we merge the STR and the MTR strategy to the same property. So in this YouTube video, I'm not only gonna dive deep into how I know a property is gonna be an STR or MTR, but I'm also gonna dive deep onto what techniques and what platforms and what softwares we use to actually do a full comp analysis during the consultation stage of a new client. STR, it's any reservation that's under 30 days. This is typically in a very common vacation market. And then we have a midterm, an MTR, a midterm rental. This is more gonna be like a corporate stay, a medical stay, somebody who's gonna be renting out your home for anywhere from 30 to 180 nights, typically furnished. And then you have my favorite, the hybrid method. And that is when we combine the STR and the MTR method together. This could be a property that's in a really, really great suburban neighborhood, but you're close to an attraction like Disneyland, for instance. And to be honest, most of our properties in the MBX Homes portfolio operate as a hybrid property. So how do I even figure out what method, what strategy we're gonna lead with when I get a new property under the MBX Homes portfolio? Here is a pretty much step-by-step guide on how we make our comp analysis and how we present these numbers to our owners when they ask us how much money are we actually going to make. So the first thing is we like to look at the revenue on a year calendar. Before, when we started this business, we would say, oh my gosh, yeah, you're gonna make about $8,000 a month. The truth is, that's really, really hard to hit every single month. So instead, we like to look at it on a yearly basis. So we like to say, you're gonna make about 90K a year. How that 90K comes in a year can be in various ways. You could have a super hot summer if you're in a vacation rental market and then slower winters, but it's gonna even out and you're still gonna make that 90K per year. And I use three tools to do this market research: AirDNA, PriceLabs, and Zillow. All very similar, but used in different ways. I really do think that external factors play a huge part if you're gonna have a successful STR MTR, because ultimately those external businesses and industries in your neighborhood are really gonna drive who is coming to your property and what the reason is for. AirDNA has been a huge tool in our entire business. We use AirDNA basically every single day, and they have some really cool new features. It's truly a very useful tool. I highly suggest to get this tool if you're looking to have a co-hosting business or if you're looking and interested in buying a new investment property. So within AirDNA, it's super easy, it's super user-friendly. You just go in there, pop in the address, and then it's gonna populate how many bedrooms, bath count, any amenities that you think the property could have, like a hot tub, or a pool, or Wi-Fi, obviously, or in-unit washer dryer. And all of that data is gonna populate from other already rentals in the area. So it's really just gonna pull all that data that you put in, the more information the better, and then you're gonna see your surrounding competitors, if you may. But this is gonna be great because you're gonna see exactly how much the competitors are listing their property for. And I do know it's a lot easier to actually find the data on short-term rentals versus a midterm rental. But if you wanna hear an MBX pro tip, My rule of thumb for a midterm rental is you're really just going to 1.5 to 2x what the market rate is. So let's say you have a beautiful 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and rent in the area is going for about $3,000, like it is here in LA for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath rental, unfurnished 12-month lease. I'm simply gonna 1x, 2x that number, and I'm gonna anticipate my 1-bedroom making anywhere from $5,500 to $6,000 per month. This rule of thumb, I kid you not, has not let me down. Another great software that we do use that is very similar to AirDNA is PriceLabs. So PriceLabs is a pricing dynamic tool. We use PriceLabs every single day as well. All of our properties are connected to PriceLabs, but the cool thing about PriceLabs is that you can now populate any address and actually run numbers from actual market data, and it's gonna show you exactly how much others are charging. PriceLabs has very conservative numbers, which is always good. We do like to aim low and then obviously exceed our clients' expectations, as you should as well. Zillow and the MLS, there's another tool that we do use more for the midterm strategy, but it is really good just to see what's actually out there in the rental market, especially if you're in an area that maybe you're not so familiar with. So maybe this property is not in your backyard, it's in a few counties away or a whole other state. You could definitely rely on Zillow and just see what's exactly going on, how long rentals are sitting on the market, how long homes are sitting on the market. I think there's so much insight on Zillow that people don't even use, but if you really dig deep and do all the filters, it can be a very useful tool. So my top 3 softwares are definitely AirDNA, PriceLabs, and Zillow/MLS. It's quite funny because once you actually gather the data from like the 3 different softwares or whatever softwares you're using, you're gonna find that a lot of the times the numbers are very different. You would think, oh, they're all getting the data from the same place, they should all be very similar numbers. The truth is, some softwares are very conservative and some are just not conservative. So I'm actually just gonna take the average, all of my software numbers, and the occupancy average as well, and I'm gonna formulate that into a presentation for my client. So essentially for the client, we are calculating the gross income that they can make. We're also gonna calculate their occupancy on a monthly basis and a yearly basis, and then their final annual numbers. We're then also gonna calculate any cleaning fees. We're gonna implement our management fee on there and any other costs that they're gonna incur during the actual operation of the STR, the MTR, the hybrid property. We really want them to know what their final take-home number is going to be to see if it's gonna be a good investment for them. Because let me tell you, there are times where somebody has come to me with a property and I will be very honest with them and I'll let them know it's probably better that you just take a long-term tenant. And I know that's actually shocking to turn away business. And the truth is, I just don't want to set the wrong expectation for a client. There's just some areas that just perform better as long-term renters. Also, a little pro tip, a little MBX Homes pro tip is if I get an address and I automatically high level see that it's in a very suburban area, my mind is probably going to shift straight to the midterm strategy versus the short-term rental strategy. But if I see an address that's maybe in a more city, commuter friendly part of town, maybe I know it's up and coming, maybe I know there's like some really cool restaurants in that area, my mind's gonna shift to short. Additionally, when we are making that very pretty presentation to give to our clients, their comp analysis, we're also gonna add in all of the comps in the area. Well, not all of the comps, maybe like 2 or 3 homes that are very similar to the home that we are analyzing. So now that we have most of our data, we're really gonna put this together on a very, very pretty presentation for all of our clients, and they're gonna see what numbers to expect. Are we gonna make money? Is this gonna be worth it for us to co-host? And as you grow your co-hosting business, I think that's something very, very important to look at. But don't get me wrong, we still have plenty of clients who have smaller 1-bedroom, 1-bath homes. We have clients more in rural areas. We don't just have all these big, fun luxury homes. Of course we do, those drive up our revenue, but the small ones do produce. And the great thing about 1-bedroom, 1-baths is they are very consistent. I really wish I could say that every property could be an amazing STR or an MTR or a hybrid property. The truth is, that's not always the case. If that was the case, we would not spend as much time as we do making these comp analysis. That's why it's super important. Obviously, before buying a property, an investment property, take the time, run the numbers, do the pro forma. Same as a co-host. If you're a co-host and a client is coming to you because they need your help, take a deep dive into the address, see what's around there, see maybe why it's not performing, maybe see why they need a co-host. So yes, the number one question I get asked is, how much money is my property gonna make? And the truth is, I can't just pull out a number figure out of my pocket, out of my purse, and be like, your property is gonna make $20,000 a month, because that's just ultimately not how it works. When I get a new lead, I do take the time and we really do break down those numbers, and I talk to my team about the deal, just as if we were actually gonna purchase this property and make it into an investment. That is how we are gonna treat our client's property. I was pretty excited to make this video because I feel like this is a question we get asked every single day, but it's also something that not a lot of people talk about. Not only is running the numbers an essential part of actually our onboarding and our consultation process, but it's also how future and current clients look at our services. If we provide a comp analysis and it's way over the moon and we're only bringing in maybe 70% of what we said we're gonna bring in, we're gonna look at that as co-hosts. But if we make a very accurate comp analysis, maybe put on the more conservative side, and we are just hitting our numbers, maybe even exceeding our numbers, then we're gonna look like the best co-host ever. And that's exactly what we want to look like and who we want to be. So make sure you are running your numbers correctly and you're taking this step very seriously the next time you get a lead. Also guys, I just launched a brand new Facebook group called the Co-Hosting Group with Mercedes. And we're really just in this group chit-chatting, making sure that our guest experience is top-notch, that our client experience is top-notch, and honestly just sharing like new ideas and answering questions. And it's a very supportive community. So definitely join if you're looking to get into co-hosting, or if you're already a co-host looking to connect with other co-hosts. I'm Mercedes with MBX Homes. Thank you so much for joining me on this quick little video talking about how to run your comps, how to know if a property is gonna make money. Drop your questions and your comments down below. Make sure you like and subscribe this video if you want more tips and advice on real estate, investing, and of course, Airbnb and co-hosting.